What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an episode of Chicago Bulls Weekly to provide to you guys as we look at the horrific previous week once again and look forward to the upcoming week the Chicago Bulls have, where we begin our 4-game away trip, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls' overall chances to have a successful 4-game trip away from home. Also, where do you think that the direction of the Chicago Bulls will be after this 4-game trip? And again, is there a future for this team that we have to look forward to? There is a lot to get through, ladies and gentlemen, but of course, I've been saying for a while now, we've had some of the worst weeks of Chicago Bulls history, and this is no different. We go 0-3 this week, but of course, in saying that, there were two extremely close games that we had to talk about today. Starting off with the Atlanta Hawks game. Close competitive game, but a game with no DeJounte Murray, a game with no John Collins either. We didn't have Alex Caruso, and I believe Ayo Dosunmu left that game at halftime as well. And we lost this game 123-122. Again, the Bulls lose in overtime as well. So, look, again, this was a back-to-back night, and at that time, I gave credit for the Bulls for fighting back, especially in two really difficult games. The Dallas game we made look very easy, but then the second night of a back-to-back, traveling to Atlanta, getting there late, competing and going to overtime. Look, that does take a lot of effort out of this team, and I understand that, but it was still a loss after many chances to win the game as well. We could have put this game away well before the fourth quarter in my eyes, but of course, disappointing quarters, disappointing inconsistent plays led to the Bulls losing this game in overtime. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we move to the next game against the New York Knicks, the first game against the Knicks at home, and we actually lost this game 128-120. The Bulls got destroyed in overtime, and overall the Knicks played the better game that time out. 18 3-point shots and everything of that nature. They got hot from the 3-point line. They played the defense required, and the Bulls actually performed well in this game as well. I'm not saying the Bulls were terrible in this game, but we did lose to the better team on that night. Simple as that. We did not deserve to win that game. And then we move into the last game against the New York Knicks, this one also at home, and we definitely did not deserve to win this game either. We got absolutely blown out 114-91. In the end, this game came down to who made the better adjustments, and the Knicks well and truly made the bigger adjustments in that game. They played better defense in that game. They were well prepared on countering the plays that the Bulls were going to run. The Bulls once obviously got caught out a few times, led to isolation, led to hero ball, led to dumb shots. No offensive rebounding either. Too many turnovers. Again, the Bulls led to all these things, and they ended up getting blown out in that game against the Knicks. And look, it's really hard to lose to two teams consecutively, or the same team in consecutive days, basically. It's not an easy thing to do. Again, this is professional NBA teams and two teams that are trying to compete at the end of the day as well. And the Bulls got embarrassed that second time out after losing in overtime the first time out. So the Knicks got the better of the Chicago Bulls at home. And again, I think a lot of people are very frustrated with how the direction of the Chicago Bulls are where they are right now. So, look, that's definitely something to consider. But again, 0-3 this week on the Bulls, and who is happy about that, ladies and gentlemen? I can't list anybody that's a Bulls fan that is truly happy. I think I saw one person saying that we should be tanking, and maybe they're happy about it. But other than that, a lot of people are very frustrated about this Bulls' current situation, as they should be. And it doesn't get any easier. Again, this was considered our easy stretch in many ways. Atlanta with no DeJounte Murray, no John Collins, the Knicks team with no Obi Toppin, and we still managed to somehow waste those opportunities. Some of them in overtime, some of them by a complete, absolute, brutal beating. So we'll see what happens in the next time out. I'm hoping the Bulls can do better, but at the end of the day, what does it really matter if we do better? Because do you really see this team actually changing things and turning things around? I really don't know what to think about this team. This 4-game road trip will ultimately determine a lot for the Bulls as well, but we shall wait and see how we go. Starting off with the next game against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a couple of hours' time. They don't have Karl-Anthony Towns, so look, this is a game where the Bulls could capitalize, but if you're looking at how the Minnesota Timberwolves actually play with Karl-Anthony Towns and without Karl-Anthony Towns, they play very similar, in my opinion. Again, their net rating and everything of that suggests that they are pretty much the same type of team. So, yes, they lose their big scoring threat, but they seem to find other ways to make an impact. So, the Bulls got to be prepared for that. How I see this game going, if we can't shoot our threes, we're going to lose this game. Put it that way. I do not see the Bulls attacking the paint in this game. They've got Rudy Gobert in there. They're still a very, very big team. They still provide a lot of mismatches on the court. They play bigger than the Chicago Bulls. Again, I just can't see this team attacking the paint and going after Rudy Gobert. I think that's what we should do. I think we should try and get him into foul trouble as soon as possible, and then you've got the whole lane all night. But I don't think the Bulls are going to do that. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to play either a zone, or they're going to allow our players to try and drive to the basket, and the Bulls are going to end up shooting threes. That's what I think is what's going to happen. I think we're going to shoot a lot of threes, and if we make them, we might win this game. If we don't make them, prepare to be brutally beaten, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I have to say about this Minnesota Timberwolves team. Then we've got the next game against the Miami Heat. This is also away from home, and very, very interesting game against Miami. Again, I feel like Miami are very much struggling, just like the Chicago Bulls are. We have beaten them before, and we did beat them without Zach LaVine, so that's obviously a positive sign. And maybe we could walk away with a win against Miami as well, but that's two teams struggling. I ultimately don't really know who's going to walk away of that game unscathed. Miami do have a lot of solid plays that they run over the Chicago Bulls every single time we verse them, but sometimes they do get stuck in their own ways, and they take some dumb shots, and we can capitalize on that as well. So we'll wait and see what Miami can be in terms of a test for the Chicago Bulls. Then we've got a second night of a back-to-back as we verse the Atlanta Hawks. This is the second time we'll be versing Atlanta on a second night of a back-to-back. So that gives them a lot of chances to beat the Bulls twice in those consecutive games, because they have the advantage there. When you look at Atlanta, I don't know about what team is going to be there. I don't know which players are going to show up, which players are going to be out for that game. It's still a little bit of ways away until we get to figure that out. But Atlanta and their pick and roll definitely hurts the Chicago Bulls every single time. Trae Young will make a difference and everything of that nature. We'll wait and see if the Bulls can be ready for that type of game. And then, last but not least, we got another game against the New York Knicks. This time it will be in Madison Square Garden. It will be in New York. And the way that I feel about this team, if we can't beat them at home, what gives them any sort of faith that the Bulls can win away from home against New York? I'm not saying it's an impossible game to win, but I'm thinking to myself, they've got a lot of momentum against the Bulls right now. Do the Bulls have confidence they can respond in that game against New York? I'm sure a lot of players, like, again, New York is a destination game. People want to play well in New York. The real problem is, will we be able to do it, or will we be embarrassed once again by the New York Knicks? That's something I can't honestly predict. I don't know. But I'm assuming a lot of people would be picking the Knicks as the favorites, as they've absolutely destroyed the Chicago Bulls in Chicago's home turf. Let's wait and see if it will happen again. We shall wait and see. As you might be saying, no rewards for the Chicago Bulls today, ladies and gentlemen. And as long as the Bulls keep on delivering these sucky-ass performances, then they're not going to get any rewards or any praise from me. So that's why there is no rewards for the Bulls weekly, and there might not be for a long, long time. This team should be competing, and as long as they're not competing, I should not be giving awards. I should not be appreciating some of these players for how they've been playing recently. Even if some of them are playing well. I could give shout-outs if you like. I think Derrick Jones Jr. has had a very solid couple of games. I think guys like Kobe White has played superbly over the last couple of games as well. And I think even guys in the starting lineup, like maybe a Patrick Williams has done okay from time to time. I could give shout outs to those guys, but ultimately this team is absolutely a disaster class, and in some way, form or fashion, even the players I've shouted out has let us down in one way or another. So I'm not going to give awards for this team because they don't deserve it. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.